Hey everyone, and welcome. The show we're going to be talking about today is Squid Game. Fun fact, the creator of this show, Hwang Dong-hyuk, actually came up with this idea back in 2008. This show came out in 2021 and stars Jung-Jae, Park Hae-Soo, and Yeong and was created by Hwang Dong-hyuk. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Squid Game pits a group of people who are in debt against each other to not only win enough money to pay off their debt, but also to win enough money to never have to work again. What these people don't know is that the games are actually deadly. So, if you lose the game, you will die. This show originally caught my eye because it was a sensation all over social media. When you watch the show, you'll notice that it's very bingeable because the transitions into each episode are so smooth that it makes you want to continue going and just finish the show. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Squid Game is a drama that also presents commentary about wealth and class. If you liked Escape Room, Parasite, or Alice in Borderlands, I suggest that you give this show a try. I thought it was very inventive of taking this idea of having child games but making them deadly. As the contestants are figuring out that these games are deadly, so are the viewers. As we go through these games, we learn more and more of how deadly these games can be. It was interesting to see all of the different plot twists that they had throughout the series, and there's one big one at the end that really might shock you. I think the show had a great pace and, really kept the story moving forward and kept the viewer interested while also making sure that the viewer understood what was going on. I love how even the sets of the games look kind of fun, minus the killing part. It was interesting to see how they took these, little playgrounds and different sets and made them more, adult friendly, but still deadly. So I thought that was interesting, and it would be fun to play these games if, it was a safer environment. This game showed us how these people would risk their lives in order to try to get rid of the debt that they have. While they're playing these games, there were wealthy people who were betting on the people and just treated this like this was some normal competition, and it really highlighted the wealth disparity. It showed how, poor people were being used for wealthy people's entertainment. It showed how the wealth itself was not evenly distributed, and while, yes, some of these people may have gotten themselves in this situation, it's very hard for them to get themselves out. And, they are so desperate that they resort to this. I think this show proved as well that, when it comes to different classes, it's always a struggle of trying to get to the top. Just like in this game, it was a struggle to get to the end of the game without being killed. And so I thought that this show had some really cool parallels to wealth and class, and showing how, things are a little bit different for the super wealthy and how they think about things compared to the people who may be either struggling or have struggled in the past. The show also spends a lot of time focusing on the characters, and as the episodes progress, you learn a little bit more about them and why they're there. It was interesting to see how there were people who were lower class as well as middle class who were in so much debt, and that's why they were chosen to participate in the games in the first place. You learn that some people are in it for selfish reasons, and that's the reason why they're in debt, but some people are in debt for selfless reasons, like trying to, reunite your family. So it was really interesting to see the, difference in the characters. And as the story goes along, there's some characters that you're going to hate, which is perfectly fine. And then there's some characters you're definitely going to be rooting for. So it's interesting to see kind of, which character is going to be a character that you're going to be rooting for. And as that game progresses, if that changes or not. The actors were great in this show and really made you feel attached to the characters, and you would latch on to them and figure out, what was actually up with that character and learn a little bit more about their backstory. Some were good, some were bad, but it was really interesting to see as the show progressed how these characters were growing and the viewer was learning more about them. I think it made you think too, like, would you do this if you were in a whole bunch of a debt? But also made you think about how, the system is not really rigged for equality when it comes to wealth. If there's a huge wealth disparity, if there one is this game that is going on under people's noses that we haven't, the police don't know about, no one really knows about, but also how there's people betting on it like it's just like some fun little thing. And so it's interesting to see the characters and how they're dealing with this, as well as how they're trying to survive. Because at this point, that's all they really, need to do is survive until the next game. I also encourage you, if you have not, to look at other content that come from other countries, like Squid Game. There are so many good shows out there that maybe on Netflix or other platforms that get overlooked because people don't want to read subtitles or they don't like dubbing stuff over. You are missing out on so much, like Squid Game potentially, because you don't want to do that. So I suggest that you take a look at some of the international content and start watching, and you may find something that you really enjoy. My favorite scene in this show is when they're playing Red Light, Green Light. This is my favorite scene because this is what initially got me interested in the show in the first place. I saw this scene on social media and it was really crazy how, the first person dies and they really think they're playing like a fun game until they get shot, and you see the reaction from like all the other players. I think this game really sets the tone for the rest of the series because it lets you know that these games need to be taken serious unless you want to be killed. Squid Game has a phenomenal cast and an interesting concept that will keep you interested. Throughout the show, you're learning more about the characters and learning more about why they're there, while also learning how much there is a wealth disparity. If you have not seen Squid Game, I highly suggest that you watch it. It is a great show on Netflix. Thank you for watching my video. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. If you have not subscribed, please do so you can keep up to date with more of my videos. But besides that, everyone stay safe, have fun, and goodbye.